let's talk about removing shapes. So we've talked about building with shapes, combining shapes, and even using those combined shapes to essentially make another shape. But in this particular video, we're going to be talking about removing shapes and how this can help you generate ideas. So you start out with a blank wall, and in this particular series, I'm just taking a circle and I am starting out at the ground and then slowly moving it up this wall. And what I've done is I've allowed that to kind of help me generate ideas just by looking at what this could possibly be. And you can see it a bit from this side, but let's switch to the other side and see how this all turned out. So just moving shapes up a wall, slowly, one block at a time. We have just sort of like this broken off piece, because that's what it was making me think of. We have here a little grate here and a waterway, and then of course a standard door, and then that nice portal. And then as you can see, I got a little wild here at the end and just made a whole room with a round window. But essentially all I've done is I've taken a circle, cut it out of a wall, and just slowly moved it up block by block. Now you can also do this in like a floor, so you can use this to create color patterns. You can use dropping elevation with your cutout, and here I've actually used a couple of different types of blocks to get a different color gradient. You can also, like for example here, cut out a circle but then insert a square. And what this made me think of in particular was kind of like a weird radioactive area, I guess you could say. So I put in some slime there and add some smoke. Now, you can also do different things with glass, like the fog effect, which just comes from layering glass with air. You can do just a straight up hole in the ground, or one of my favorites is using black glass, because when somebody walks over it, they think they're going to fall, but then they don't. I frequently use this technique on Peach because I think it's pretty fun. So just a cool way to use shapes. Now you can also combine these different ideas, taking out a circle and then taking out another circle after that by using the hole drop method, or even by just putting something under a black glass that adds some movement. Now, on the other hand, we have our standard shapes, but you can also have your non-standard shapes. So this is just chunks that I've cut out. And here I just kind of cut out a swirl. So it doesn't have to be a circle or a triangle. You can just remove something. You can also combine this. So on here I have an arch, and then above it I have a circle removed. On this one I've taken out a triangle, and then I've combined it with adding just a color change of triangles on the inside to kind of make it match a little bit. It's pretty cool. Now you can also remove 3D shapes. So we've done some 2D methods, but in this one we removed a 3D square, and then we've removed a 3D triangle. And when you're looking at it like this, you're like, what could this possibly be? But just by using these methods, you can generate ideas and make, for example, a pretty cool balcony, or even a greenhouse slapped on the back. Now, I wouldn't make this a whole building. I'd combine it with other structures, but it's pretty cool to be able to see it. You can also take a combination of structures like we have here and cut a shape out of the middle of the structure, or the combo of structures rather. So in this instance, I've used this to come up basically with the idea of an inner courtyard. So just looking at it from here, you can see that I've cut the square out of the combination of structures. So essentially, all this is this not necessarily a building technique as much it is an idea generating technique. Because when you keep building in the same way over and over, using similar shapes, you can kind of make it stale for yourself and stall out your idea generation. And the nice thing about is just cutting a chunk or a shape out of a single structure or a combination of structures can give you an idea to build things like a balcony or a greenhouse or a courtyard. Pretty standard mechanisms you could find in building, but it was cutting out the shape that helped that idea to come to life. So I would encourage you to just try this technique, especially if you are finding yourself kind of getting repetitive or stale with your buildings. Try and remove a shape, a triangle, a circle, or a cube, or a cylinder, and hopefully this will help you.